Hi, my name is Mike Avila, and today we will be talking about basic transthoracic echocardiography, including the imaging windows and various pathologies. At the end, we will also talk about IVC measurements. The probe of choice for this examination is the cardiac probe, aka the phased array probe. This probe is great for fitting in between the rib spaces. If your machine does not have this probe, the curvilinear probe can be used, but really the preferred probe is the phased array probe. First, we need to talk about probe positioning. You will use the standard mode where the indicator is on the left of the screen for most scans that are non-cardiac. In this convention, the probe marker will either be to the patient's right side or to the patient's head. To get a cross-section of the heart, however, you need to imagine the heart as an upside-down cone. In standard mode, a cross-sectional view or short axis view of the heart will have the probe marker pointing to the patient's right hip and in long axis view to the patient's left hip. As an example, this is a parasternal long axis view of the heart. We are in standard mode, shown by the red arrow on the left of the screen. The probe marker on the body is facing to the patient's left hip. Contrast standard mode with cardiac mode. Notice the indicator is on the right of the screen, shown by the red arrow. In this view, again, imagining the heart as an upside-down cone, the long axis view will have the probe indicator pointing to the patient's right shoulder and in short axis orientation to the patient's left shoulder. This is opposite of standard mode, but so is the indicator on the screen opposite of standard mode. Therefore, the image acquired will be the same. Basically, if you flip the indicator, then you need to also flip the probe. This is a parasternal long axis view of the heart. Probe marker is facing to the patient's right shoulder, and we are in cardiac mode because the indicator on the screen is on the right side. Remember that the left ventricle should always be on the left of the screen for parasternal long axis. We will talk about that again. So here the image looks different. It is actually flipped. Remember when I said that the LV should be on the left of the screen? Well, here it's on the right. Why is this image flipped? First, see that the indicator on the screen is on the right, which tells you that you are in cardiac mode. Then, see where the probe marker is facing, and in this case, it is facing down to the patient's left hip, the orientation in standard mode, not cardiac mode. Remember, in cardiac mode for parasternal long axis, probe indicator should point to the right shoulder. This image also looks different. Again, it is flipped. Why is it flipped? First, see that the indicator on the screen is on the left, which tells you that you are in standard mode. Then see where the probe marker is facing, and in this case, it is facing to the patient's right shoulder, the orientation in cardiac mode, not standard mode. Remember, in standard mode, probe indicator should point to the left hip. So, to summarize, in cardiac mode, the indicator on the screen should be on the right side, and the probe marker should be facing the right shoulder. The LV should be on the left of the screen.